Okay, welcome back to Opinion Leaders, everyone. And on the same, actually, the second part of our interview, talking about, of course, team building and training with Ma'am Nelda Zulueta, CEO of SKILLSHOP, Clear Vision Outsourcing. So, ma'am, we ended actually our gap on something positive. And now I'd like to talk about basically what if you're in the higher tier. We're talking about people, employees, right? But sometimes in order to be a effective leader, we also need to supplement our skills. And sometimes people believe that just because they're already a boss, they can do no wrong. But sa totoo lang, sometimes, in order to be an effective leader, you have to be an effective follower first. So how do you, because I believe before you can become a leader, or before you become an employer, you first have to become an employee. Otherwise, you will never really understand the plight of the people who are under you. So, paano po yun?
Yeah, as a leader, you have to have a very wide perspective.
You have to be broad-minded.
Yeah, you have to know what's the story behind. You have to be very experienced in knowing, given a challenge, given a situation, you already know what lies behind it. Those are one of the traits of a good leader. And then some leaders have the notion that if they're already up there, then everything stands still. They don't need reinforcement. They don't need training anymore. That's wrong. The more you are up there, the more your leadership is challenged. That's the more you have to hone your leadership.
To become an even more effective.
Yes, yes.
Because sometimes when the company is growing bigger, I don't know, but this is just my opinion, sometimes even if you're already a good leader, let's just say you have a good track record, but if your company is getting bigger and your responsibilities increase, sometimes your leadership skills will not match anymore the way the company develops. So you have to, again, supplement yourself with something new. And again, some people are good leaders when the company is doing well. But when the company starts to go down, then the leaders I mean, natataranta sila, they go into a state of panic on how they can actually keep their operations abreast.
Yeah. The growth and the success of a company is directly proportional to the quality of leadership. You'll find out in all organizations, whether private sector, government, non-profit, anything.
Yeah,
basta
actually
may organization ka, look at the leader. The leader is high quality, high performing, very competent. You'll always see the organization is growing, it's achieving, it's successful. But if there's a leader that's one thing, the leader has his skills are something else, you'll always see a struggling organization. So the human capital struggles if the leadership is not that strong. So sometimes a large part of it is self-development. No? That's our topic for today. A large part of it is what you call honing the emotional intelligence. So as a leader, it's not only the hard skills or the technical stuff that you have to be very good at, also the soft skills. Leading the people, that should be your primary skill.
And is it true that charisma is important here? Because sometimes you have a good leader with good ideas. And I mean, you know, and this is a big example in governments all over the world. Actually, good leaders, potentially good leaders, but they don't have what it takes to make their people follow them.
Yes,
that's actually a big part, because no matter what good you want to instill, if the people you're trying to instill it to will not listen to you, then you have a problem, because you cannot get it. You cannot implement it, for sure.
Yes. That's part of what I'm saying, the soft skills, the emotional intelligence, having that charisma, having that magnetism for people to follow, listen to you. You should have that. For some, it comes naturally. In their course of work, it just comes naturally.
They're a natural for that. But others, it has to be developed. Or if it's not yet even developed, then it has to be put.
It can be developed.
But can it be? it's also possible to develop it.
Yes, yes, it
Ah.
can be developed. Earlier, you mentioned something about the organization changing at a very fast pace.
Mhm.
Well, that's the more of a challenge nowadays because before we used to have, well, not really stagnant, but fixed organizations.
Uh-huh.
But today, because of the technology, because
Yes, everything is
things
online and the
happening,
internet. Yeah.
oh, yeah, things
We're-
happening all over, organizations change very, very quickly. So leaders also have to adapt to that.
I see. Naku, natamaan ako dun na.
Aha.
Because hindi pa ako masyadong, honestly, sometimes because I guess because of the generation gap, sometimes there's this resistance or you're scared to actually try new things. So I don't know, for me, it's just so difficult. It's like wanting to search for something on the web. Just to find out one thing, you have to go through such a long process that you don't even want to anymore forget it. See, but I need to get over that. I really need to because the world is changing. I will run out of people to ask questions from. But then, do you also do this online, ma'am? Is there also another? What are the other
Yes,
services
well,
that
nowadays
you provide?
there are many forms already of training, many forms of self-development. So you can do it just by yourself through webinars. You have online training.
Webinars.
Yes.
Ano yung webinars?
Parang it's
Online
done on the
seminar.
net. Yes,
I
it's
see.
done on the net.
So it's just people who talk,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then on a video, and you can watch
Parang
it through YouTube.
self-service. You can view it whenever you want to.
I see.
Or sometimes people log in all at the same time at a given date and time.
Uh-huh. So
Then
it's
you
just
also
like a
have-
TV show that they announce it that we will be showing such and such a feature or
yeah.
a certain webinar at this time, 9 to 10 p.m. And then all of these people who are
log
interested,
in.
then they log in from 9 to 10, and then they can replay it whenever
Yes.
they want.
That's how it's done now.
Nice. So in other words, you can do it on your own time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking before during my time. In order for you to sell your product, you have to be you have to be watching television at a certain time in the day to see the commercial, to be able to get through your target audience, right? But now because of the computer, because of the web, and if you advertise online, people can actually watch it at their own convenience.
Yes.
And even the news is
Anytime.
available,
Yeah.
so there's no more excuse not to know about
Yeah.
anything.
So there's no more excuse to self-development, actually.
Yes, and actually, I think what I want to go to in this next portion is, I think it's also important for people to know where they need improvement on. I think that type of attitude is actually where you will succeed when you realize that there's something wrong, or you don't have a certain something, and then you ask for help because you want to develop yourself.
Yes.
You want to improve yourself.
That's the first step, actually, realizing, accepting that these are my weaknesses, these are my self-challenges, and then seeking help, doing something about it. So that's the
Okay.
second step.
You have to do something about it. And the good thing is nowadays there are a lot of options available,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
If you don't have the time, you can just go online. But let me tell you, there's a different dimension
True.
to joining a group and then joining a training session, joining a motivational speaking session. There's a different dimension to
True.
it compared with
Online.
just doing it online.
Because you know why? I guess what people, since we are basically, human beings are generally, with the exception of a few, are generally social creatures.
Yes,
Generally. So I guess understanding that human beings are social creatures, I think we also need to realize that some of the greatest products are created through a collaboration and a corroboration of different people. So if you're only alone and you're learning alone, maaaring iba yung pagkaka-interpret mo. Unlike if you're with a group and you have questions, then you can raise your hand, you can bring out your question, and then you will have many opinions on actually just that one topic, which is wonderful because it allows you to share. When you share, you get your views across, and people can share with you. So mas importante talaga yung nandun ka physically present.
Oo.
Okay.
In a social circle,
Right,
social setting.
right.
No? Because like I said a while ago, each person has a different background. The differences are enormous between individuals. And then you can work on that difference to develop yourself, because each person will have their own opinion. And then if you have a wide perspective, then you can assimilate all of the opinions that you think are good, and you can expand yourself. You can grow by simply joining, attending, listening to other people.
I see. And then you will realize that you can actually learn a lot about other people. Or if you have certain things that you're in doubt, you can ask. So instead of doing it trial and error, you can actually gauge from other people's experiences whether or not this will work for you in your situation.
Yeah.
Right, right. And still, I believe that some of the greatest things come in the element of the unexpected. So you just have to make sure that you're open to that.
Yeah.
Not everything goes according to your plan, right?
Yeah.
And
the excitement of
yes,
discovery.
exactly, the excitement of discovery. And I guess that's one thing that SkillShop does, is sometimes people even probably realize that they have a certain skill that they didn't even realize they had before.
Yeah, that's it. The method that we use is not putting in, it's drawing out. So
Okay.
that's a more effective way of educating and training.
Because we're using the individual themselves. So rather than they can share who they are and what their experiences are also.
Yeah, crossing the line between committing to self-improvement and just sitting there.
Right.
So if you reach that point where the individual commits to transforming into a new person, then you have succeeded.
And usually the good thing about this is once the person has realized that, it's usually something that they will benefit from for a lifetime. Right? More or less. Because it's really changing yourself, and then you will realize that it's not really that there was a problem there. The problem was you were not receptive to the solutions that are actually available.
Remember, attitude is everything.
Yes, agree.
You can look at the same thing in a different light by changing your attitude.
That's true.
You cannot control things happening to you. You cannot control a lot of the things surrounding you, but you can change your own attitude
Towards those things.
Yes. So
Okay.
that's the first step to self-development.
Wow.
Having a different attitude.
Yes. So, ma'am, you did mention that you're about a year, so...
A year into doing this.
Yes, into doing this. So, can I ask now, after 1 year of doing this, and you seem to be very motivated and seem to be very inspired with what you're doing, what can we expect from SkillShop in the next years to come? Meron ba kayong mga plano on how to, let's say, expand?
Well, right now, because it's summer season, we're focusing on giving value to team building. Because a lot of companies, they just, this is the time where they go on vacation, they go on R&R. We'd like to put more value into that team building. So we convince companies not to just go enjoy themselves, but rather to put a little bit more value into that to strengthen the team. So our product now is focusing on green team building, where if the organization, let's say, wants to go to the beach, so we take advantage of that, the joy.
So killing two birds with one stone, basically.
Yeah,
I see.
That's what we do now this time of the year.
So basically, it will be a chance, not only just an outing, but a chance to bond with your workmates, a chance to have a little moment with your bosses, to talk about the company.
Yeah.
And usually, there's a renewal that goes on here.
And it's beautiful, yung mga, the ones I've experienced.
Yes.
I've had several groups already
Pumupunta
this year.
talaga po kayo?
Oh, yes. I'm the one facilitating,
Okay.
actually. I'm the one
Always, usually.
facilitating.
But then, usually, that's very busy po. I mean, talagang nagagawa nyo ng paraan all the time?
for team building, I see to it that I facilitate. Sometimes I have a co-facilitator.
But you're always there.
I'm always there.
Okay.
For training, if the topic is not my expertise, so I get a co-facilitator.
But you were also
Yeah.
there. Also, yeah, you
I'm
were.
always there. It's
Nice.
parang a standard of SKILLSHOP that we don't do simultaneous. We put quality into it.
Right. So it's just like basically going to a school where there are less amount, the ratio of students per
Yeah.
teacher
Oh,
is
yeah.
smaller. Rather than
Parang-
rather than having 50 students to one teacher, you will have maybe 12 to 15 to one
Parang
trainer.
ganon,
Parang
yes.
everybody has a chance. It's unacceptable to sit at the back of the room and not participate
sit
and just
there.
sit there.
Yeah.
Kailangan you have to bring out these individuals so
Oo.
that they will get the most out of what they're paying for
Yeah.
or what the companies are paying for them to be
Yeah.
there.
And it's very non-traditional.
Ayun yun.
Actually.
Pag
Very
sinabi natin non-traditional,
kami.
can we explain that?
Well, in one, I won't mention the government agency,
Yes.
but we did have a group na, that we trained for creative writing. So creative writing, very nice topic, di ba? So what we did, we had them don costumes. The weirder, the better.
Wow.
And then we took pictures of them, and then we made them write letters to themselves on what they want to be, on what their fantasy person was.
Wow.
So we had a lot of fun doing that. And it came out that they were surprisingly, they were very, very creative, really.
So they were able to actually bring out stuff that they normally wouldn't do.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Inside the workplace, they won't do that. But in that setting, everything came out.
But
They became very creative.
But because everything came out and they were able to exhibit certain things, quote unquote, that you would say is embarrassing. So after that particular training or after that particular activity, I'm sure mas naging close sila sa isa't isa.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Because
Oo.
they experience something that is not really normally something that they would go through in the workplace.
Oo.
Usually people are always wanting to show their decent side or what is proper.
Parang
you know?
may mask.
Yes,
no?
parang may mask.
Not bringing out the true self.
And sometimes, if you wear a mask for too long and you're used to wearing the mask, sometimes you will actually look in the mirror and not even know yourself and say, wait, who is the real me?
Magkaka-identity
Yeah,
crisis
yes,
ka na.
not because you wanted to, but because you are playing a role, let's say, 19 hours in a day, and then you sleep for the rest of the remainder of the time. So I think it's important sometimes that we have activities or we have certain events that remind us na para bang even if this is our job or this is our responsibility, at the end of the day, this is who we are.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
That's the road to self-development, bringing out the true you.
Right.
The person that enjoys what he does, the person that enjoys what he seeks.
Yes.
So, there.
And we mustn't forget our original passions and our original fears and certain things that sometimes we wanted to achieve when we're young or we set goals for ourselves. But because we've become busy and because our lifestyles do not permit it, we tend to let go. Bahala na, kailan na lang yun. I think sometimes it's important to reel back in and say, wait, I really wanted to do this. And I guess at some point, and I think sometimes, even if you do not achieve it at a certain age and a certain time that you set out to, at some point you can. Maybe you're delayed 2, 3, 4 years, maybe sometimes even a decade. But I think it's important that at some point in your life, you have to actually achieve what you set out to do.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Those people na burnt out, na ayaw na talaga nila yung trabaho nila and all of that, they're very unhappy. These are the people we like to go
Or
to
even the
our...
displaced ones, the ones who feel like
yung
hindi
nawalan,
yeah.
They had great losses, or somebody left them, may nag-depart, and all of that.
Or
So these
love
are the
life
people.
problem.
Yun. Oh, that's very debilitating then. So these are the people we like to join our team building and our training sessions, because we just make them have fun, and they're really rejuvenated.
And I'm
after
sure,
the
ma'am, there's a
session.
sense of fulfillment when you can change the attitude. I'm sure malaki yun,
Oh
no?
yeah,
It's a big,
yeah.
I mean, even on account, on your part, na para bang you just feel
Oo.
wonderful to actually be able to bring out the best in another human
Oh
being,
yeah. In
regardless.
fact, I put up SKILLSHOP. My motto is I want to teach it forward. 30 years is no joke. I was a corporate slave for 30 years. Although I was in senior management, it was day in, day out. Talaga, not exaggerating, 30 years. And during that 30 years, my specialty was always, I was able to look through people.
Mm.
I could tell what was wrong whenever there were conflicts, challenges, or there were people who were underperforming. I knew what was wrong. And I had this notion on how to change it, on how what to
Ah.
do about
It
it.
was just a
Yeah.
instinct, something,
Yeah,
pretty much.
it became natural to me.
And then now it's being available to many people through SkillShop.
That's it.
Okay.
That's
So,
it.
ma'am, at this point, I'll give you this time to actually anything that you want to address to our televiewers, especially people who want to improve themselves, people who want to remember you only have X amount of years to live, and only a certain number of these years are your prime.
Yes.
Let's use it properly. Let's make the most. Sabi nga nila, it's not the length of time that you live, but the quality of life that
Quality.
you live within the parameters of the ages that you're given. So, would you like to invite our televiewers and
sure.
how to get in touch with you, or anything that you might,
Uh-huh.
new activities, new events that SkillShop might have?
So I'm inviting all of you, especially the organizations that are challenged. If you have challenges within your organization and you would like us to help clear those challenges, or if your organization is underperforming and you want to be more successful, bring your organization to us, bring your staff to us. You can look at www.skillshop.ph. We have a nice website, and our contact details are there. Just throw us an email, and then we will contact you. We can discuss what your needs are, and then design a module for you that's well within your budget and your
Okay.
time limitations.
Ma'am, I have one last question, and I'm sure this might also be applicable to a few people who might be watching us. Let's say you're an individual who wants to improve yourself. You're not affiliated with any company, with anybody, but you want to be good before you apply for a job, or before you.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Do you have something for these
Oh
type
yes.
of
In
people?
fact, on March 14, I'm going to conduct a session right in our office. There will be 4 of them. They want to start a business. They
Uh-huh.
want to start a spa business. So uh, her name is Giselle. She came to me. She emailed me, and then she was asking, Mom, can you help me? Do you give trainings for starting up a business? But I'm only one, she said. So is there any class I can join? So I told her, well, even if you're only one, let's do it in our office, I said. So she said, I have 3 other co-investors with me. Great, I told her. So get your team together. We'll do it in our office.
Actually, that might even be more effective, di ba, ma'am?
Yeah,
Somehow,
right.
because konti lang
Super
sila.
customized, John.
Super.
Oo,
Okay.
oo.
Wow. So that means I can also attend these things. Anyway, ma'am,
Yes.
thank you very much for joining us and sharing with us a small bit of inspiration for 1 hour. And I do hope all of those who are watching, even though you're just watching us, hopefully we were able to impart something in you, because a lot was imparted on me right now. Thank you very much. Ma'am Nelda Zulueta, CEO of SkillShop Clear Vision Outsourcing. Thank you very much for giving us your
Thank
time.
you, William.
And hope to see you next time again on something else, something that's new, or something inspirational, and something that you want to share with us again. So until next week, signing off for now. Thank you very much to Mr. Pep Silvestre, and also to Total Skincare, to the staff and crew of GNN. Thank you very much. And to the staff of Opinion Leaders. Until next week, saying goodbye for now.